Hey friends, welcome to the Stationery Cafe, your podcast for everything stationery, journaling, and planning related. This is April from Penguins Creative, and we have Kelly from Kelly Love Letters here with me today, and we're going to talk about living the analog life and fun things in the community. So join us with a drink, and let's chat about what's new in the stationery world. Hey Kelly, how's it going?
Hi, April. It's good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! It's 2023. Wow.
It's about time.
Wait, is that a Lizzo song? It's
Yeah.
about damn time. Yeah. I feel like I've only just saw you yesterday, or I didn't pull up that joke. Feel like last year, something like I haven't seen you since last year, something like that.
You you ruined it because we did see each other yesterday, so
We
so
saw you.
that joke doesn't work.
It doesn't work with you. Or oh, I remember now. I feel like it's been a year since
Right.
I last talked to you.
But it hasn't because I was just there.
I know.
I just spent the New Year with April and Elliot and
In Seattle, right
in
here.
Seattle. A bunch of fun planner people. We had a good time.
I know. That's like my yearly routine, or at least I'm trying to make it my yearly routine, which is to it started, I think, with the intention to start the new year with your journal and like journal,
Yeah.
write something. Like in Japan, they have this thing called first write, the haku kaki something, like
Mhm.
the first writing of the year to set the tone. And I think somehow I was like, Let's do it with some friends, and then let's invite some friends over and we can have breakfast together and then journal together, and then the meeting just got bigger and bigger, and I think this is the largest yet. And Kelly came up from Portland too to join us. So
It was really fun. I
it
had a
was
good time.
it was so good. What else did you do since you went back to Portland for New Year's?
Well, I got to see Mom and Maya a little bit, and my buddies and I are watching Ghost in the Shell right now, which I was trying to talk to April about, and like she's like, "You mean the Scarlett Johansson movie?" I'm like, "No, like the original anime." But we are watching it dubbed, not subbed, which isn't really my preference, but my friends were like, "I don't want to like have to read the subtitles," which I get, but I'm also like, but the voice acting is so much better. I
I
don't know.
know.
I haven't ever watched Ghost in the Shell. It's kind of an older one, but it
Hmm.
it actually takes place in the year 2030. So,
Oh, we're
but it was
close.
but it was written like in the 90s, I think, or
Yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of funny because we keep making jokes like, "Oh, we're gonna get that in 7 years."
The flying
Yeah,
across the city on like
yeah,
machines, that kind of stuff, perfect.
yeah.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. It's
just
happening.
just a few more years of global warming, I guess.
Oh God.
Oh no. This turned dark.
It's
Anyway,
the truth podcast today. What did you do after I left?
I
You took a nap?
rested. I took a nap. I rested. I like took a bath while catching up on my favorite
Nice.
K-drama. Um, I think I kind of treated today, this is the second of 2023, as my actual New Year break, where I just like completely laced around, slept in, had a good meal, and journal all day long. And that's like all I want to do
Nice.
in my life forever. But we have to work.
I know, right? I also did a lot of that today.
Nice.
But I went to the store, got some fruit, and figuring my life out slowly but surely.
Did you like do any like goal setting planning thing in your journal, or like at least start prepping all your planners? I know you brought some of them up to Seattle and
Some of them, I brought like all of my planners to Seattle. It was great. I, it was intense unpacking it. In fact, well, no, I think I mostly unpacked those things, but yeah. So I wrote a little bit in my new the new insert I started, which is the Kyoto insert.
Ooh.
Um, that I got like literally in 2020 when Nita helped me order the Kyoto Traveler's Notebook.
Yeah, the
And
Traverse
I never
Notebook.
used it. It's the really pretty like
Mm-hmm.
gray cover with the rose gold foil
Mm-hmm. With all
on the
the
inside.
icons of Kyoto on that one.
Yes.
I'm excited
Oh,
because
so
I'm about to break into my new TN refill too. But you'll be mad at this. Like the things I'm gonna start journaling about though is like stuff from Christmas. So it's like today I
oh
spend the
boy,
whole day catching up with December daily. So
that's a lot. I just gave up on But okay, I wanted to show this off. Look at how perfectly I stamped that stamp in
oh
the rectangle of the traveler's notebook insert. Like I have this tarot card stamp that like fit just perfectly and I'm like, "Oh,
oh the opening window. I always never know what
yeah.
to do with it. I
I
think
know."
I used to the only thing I started doing is just to write like which day I started this refill and which day I
Mhm.
ended it, like on top of that gray box. But I didn't really like do anything inside. Maybe I should start
Yeah.
putting photos of Cookie in it.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I do? So while you were here, we streamed, and I think during your stream, I came up with my word of the year, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of people like to ask the question, how do you pick your words of the year? I feel like there's no real way because like how I came up with mine was really just like a sudden recognition about a word that like came to me in the last year. I can say last year now, finally.
Yeah.
In the last year during like a conversation when I was in Japan and like that word suddenly popped right back into my mind. So that has like zero process. It was the word teine in
Mhm.
Japanese, which means to be very thorough and detail oriented. And I think we were looking at, the craftsmen that were making the binders, components for plotter, and then at the
Mhm.
leather tanneries, and then also looking at like the factories that make the paper, and like people are just like so focused and so concentrated and being so thorough. And I think I was kind of inspired to be like that for my new
Mhm.
year. So that was kind of the word that is going to hopefully kind of be my anchor, my North Star word
Yeah.
for next year. So I guess in a way, the words of the year could be something that you're gonna try to relate to a lot in 2023 or the in the new year. But how you came about it, it could take time. Like it could take
Yeah.
some thorough reflection, or it could just take like a spontaneous moment of like I knew exactly how I want to be next year, you know. And,
Right.
and I think also reflecting a lot on like probably what you did not do so well, and that's probably why you want to be better or something like that, or
Yeah.
just be a little different next year, not necessarily better. So yeah, I'm glad I came up with that though.
Yeah, I like that one.
hmm So before we get into the bulk of today's episode, which is we're gonna revisit some of our top threes, because I feel
Oh yeah.
like that's
We love a top 3.
a great type of content for a first episode of the year kind of thing. What are you drinking? We forgot.
So, yeah, no, I was drinking from my new Geraldine's mug, which, by the way, my besties really liked the mugs.
I love it.
Just for context, really quick, we went to this diner called Geraldine's Counter
hmm
in Columbia City, Seattle. Um, they have these really cute diner mugs, and the reason I bought them for my friends is because there's a character in a book series we're reading. Her name's Geraldine, and she's like awesome. So I was like, my friends need this mug.
That's
um,
awesome.
but yeah, I just had some Earl Grey tea in there,
Oh,
but it's all
nice.
gone. So I'll be having water from now.
I made myself a cute little drink in my Adiria retro glasses from Momoizaka. But it's a combination of seltzer and yuzu jam, so kind of
Ooh,
like
delicious.
easing myself back to my 2022 end of the year diet, which is like less added sugar drinks,
Yeah,
more conscious eating habits. We probably will get to that at the very end. But
totally.
it's kind of fun to finally put cute drinks into this like really pretty
Yeah.
tall glass. It's like that tulip shape leg where it looks like a little
hmm
parfait cup. Oh.
It's really cute.
All right,
Hmm.
diving right into it, we decided to revisit some top threes of 2022 stationery wise. And I
Oh
thought we
yeah.
kicked off with the pen section
Boom.
because, funnily enough, last year April said she's only going to buy 4 pens in
LOL.
2022. She said she's only going to buy a pen per quarter, and that did not go the way she wanted. Um,
Hmm.
no thanks to Kelly and CY and a lot of our other friends, all the wonderful friends I got to like hang out with this entire year at pen shows, in my various trips. I can't leave out Kue in this mix. Like, darn you
Mm,
guys. I got enabled hard this year, and I bought more than 4 pens. So I think it's a good section to kick off. But why don't you go first, actually,
I'm going first.
and
Okay.
then I can like delve into my top three.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So
not that. Go wait, go.
hey. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So I actually didn't realize until you said this just now that all of my top three I got at pen shows. Well, okay, technically not this one, I guess, but I told CY that I was interested in like a used Mont Blanc, and I didn't want to pay more than $350 for it, which is a lot of money for me.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's an
um,
expensive pen.
but like I just because normally Mont Blanc, any Mont Blanc pen, no matter what it is like minimum price $600 new. Like if it's a rollerball, if it's a fountain pen, it just the price just skyrockets. So I was like, yeah, I really want a used one, and so he found one for me, and he like fixed it up for me, and he's like, do you want to grind? I'm like, no, I don't want to grind. I just want I just want the pen. So it's a Montblanc 146. It's not really a Kelly pen because it's like boring, quote unquote, but it's black. It's black with gold trim, your standard
It's
Montblanc.
got that Mont Blanc look, right?
It's got the look, it's got the ink window, it's a
Mm-hmm.
piston filler. It's honestly really great. It's a great writer. I like to talk a lot of smack about Mont Blanc because I just feel like they're kind of elitist for no reason, which that's part of that's the whole brand basically.
It
But
is kind of part of the brand, but it does drive away. Like, it creates a barrier to entry. So that's
yeah,
why there
exactly.
are pens that look like Mont Blancs but are cheaper.
Exactly. Yeah, but I got this quote unquote cheap pen from CY, and it writes really nice. It's I think he's told me it has an ebonite feed. I'm pretty sure he told me that. If you're
Mm.
listening, CY or Akane, let me know. Um, but yeah, it's a beautiful pen. I don't regret it. I think it was a great addition. I just felt like I would have like I need a Mont Blanc in my collection, right? Like just one. Um, so then the other thing that April thinks I'm so lame for some reason is my little Microsoft vintage Kaweco set. It's so I put clips on both of them. I put a black clip on the ballpoint. I mean, it's just kind of ballpoint is just whatever, but it's just a Kaweco Sport. It's clear. It says Microsoft on it, and it's numbered. And I
Did
I
you
just
use it?
yeah.
So we talked about this. I think Kelly mentioned it at the SF Pen show on our After Dark kind of like podcast forum roundtable program we did that
Yeah.
evening, and you were showing it off. And we all thought it was the most ridiculous purchase of the SF Pen show.
No, it's so
And I can't
good.
believe you made it to your top three.
Well, like the thing is, Microsoft, it just makes me think of being a kid when, like Microsoft Windows 95 or whatever. Like it
Ah,
it kind of brings me back to that
got
time,
it. So
and it
not like
just
a trade show freebie pen kind of deal, which is what it makes me think of.
well, I mean, I'm pretty certain that this set was like gifted to someone that worked at Microsoft a long time ago. I'm assuming there were 1,000 made though. I
Mm,
just thought it was cool. It's one of those little collector things.
that is true.
Made
It
me.
is pretty nerdy, and I kind of like that.
I like the nerdness of it. And then the last one, which is not actually a fountain pen, is my
Mhm.
glass dip pen that April and I both got at the
Yeah.
SF Pen Show, but she got the, what is yours again? Morning Glory or
The
whatever?
Morning Glory one. Yeah.
And mine is the, I'm even afraid to hold it up to the camera like this. The Cinderella with the really cool, like,
Is it the
uh,
glass
sis-
slipper or
it's the
something?
glass slipper. It's so good. Like, it was definitely, I wasn't planning to buy it at all, but I'm really glad I did because it's really special.
Remember,
And
like back in like 2 years ago or something on this podcast, you were like, "I hate glass pens. Like I break them,
well,
even
no.
though I was just drying them. Like you've come a long way."
The thing is, like, I think the quality of the pen is has a lot to do with it because I'd only really had like kind of, I don't want to say knockoff or like cheap. I mean, they were cheaper glass pens, and it's true. Maybe I was a little rough on them, but I try to be gentle with this one. I've learned my lesson. I Nothing bad has happened thus far, so
Knock on wood.
knock on wood. Yep.
It would have been the Bungo Box glass dip pen. My first one, the sweet potato, would have been my top three, but that would have been in 2021. So
Yeah, wasn't that at like the tail end of
yeah,
2022 or
exactly.
21?
So
Yeah.
it didn't make it into my list this year because we're talking about 2022.
Yeah.
So great top three choice over there. I think
Yeah, you've
and
got some bangers.
mine ended up being like exactly the fruity trio I had
I
imagined.
love that. Yes, they
And
look
they're
so
all
good.
like in contrast to your Mont Blanc's, like the black exterior, this is like extremely flirty and cutesy and like poppy, but essentially it is the Bungu Box Mikan, the Sailor Pro Gear Mini, and then the Bungu Kan, Kobayashi Bungu Kan, Shizuoka Strawberry, Sailor Pro Gear Slim, also in a mini,
So cute
and
though.
the Platinum 3776 Century um, in the special apricot peach tea. So, to kind of describe them individually, I think I got the strawberry first,
Hmm.
then the apricot peach tea, then the mikan, which is orange in Japanese.
I thought Mekon was before the peach tea. Maybe, I don't know.
No, because I'm pretty positive
Rapid succession.
I got it is kind of like the strawberry was still within my like 1 pen per quarter plan. It was like earlier this year, like earlier last year, like around February, and then it was like a special pen that you can only get at the stationery store, and they don't sell overseas. But when I saw it and I had to have it, and I asked CY, that was my first kind of CY request, I believe.
Mm.
And I was like, "Can I please get the strawberry, Shizuoka strawberry?" And I remember you were fawning over the Ancora, like Lily of the Valley, or like your Taurus
Oh
pen, which
yeah.
is also a mini. And I remember
Yep.
back then thinking I would never get a mini pen. Like it's so small. And here
But
I
it's
am,
perfect when you post it.
Sailor Pro Gear Slim Mini, and it's just so pleasant, so cute because it's got the
Yes.
darker pink cap, the light milky pink body, and the again the same darker pink finial, and the end section, and then a grassy green finial that makes it looks like a tiny strawberry, which I think is like the
It's
coolest
so
color
cute.
combo ever.
It's really good.
And then fast forward to May when I went back to Taiwan. I think end of April, early May. I was in Taiwan after like not visiting my family for 3 years because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I went and happened across the apricot peach tea at the Kinokuniya when I thought it
That's
was like
right.
completely sold out because this platinum peach tea, apricot peach tea, actually came out like I think end of 2021 as well. And
Yeah.
then when I saw it at Kinokuniya, that happened to be like my second to last day before coming back to the US, and I was like,
And you're like, oh.
it's meant to be. And I couldn't even. It was so funny because I actually had to make a membership at Kinokuniya to get the
No
discount.
way.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
and it actually like even like breaks even, and I still get more discount. So it was a deal to get the membership. But what
That's
irks me
a
more
lot.
is the day after I flew back to the US, it was Members Day. And then you get like 20% off, even a higher
Yeah.
discount. So I could have got this pen for way cheaper, but I was still very happy about it. And this pen is, my favorite 3776. I think I've said it before on the podcast. That's probably my favorite nib. The Platinum 3776 M nib. It's got like a peachy pink cap, more neon-y pink body, and like a very like sharp yellow, all pretty translucent end section. And I think these like what do you call it? The band
Hmm.
is rose gold, I believe. Yeah,
Hmm.
it looks really
It's so
nice.
pretty. It's such a good one. And
It's
doesn't it have a peach on the nib
it
too?
has a peach on the nib, and the strawberry
Oh,
had the strawberry, so it was all
oh,
very very nice.
so good.
And then the end of my fruit platter is the Mikan, which came, I think they were pretty hot like commodity when they first came out, and like I remember people were ordering them, and I was just thinking it was too expensive. I'm not getting another Sailor, like especially Bungu box pens are a little bit more expensive, and so I wasn't like onto this the moment the Bungu box Mikan was released. It's orange all over in the mini size with a white finial, really cute, and on the tip it's got like a little
Well,
um,
orange.
pearly
Orange
orange
slice.
slice on it. And the cool thing is the nib is a pro gear size, like a full size nib.
Hmm.
So it's a larger nib size than my Shizuoka strawberry, and I love it even more. And since my ownership of it, it has only ever had the Mikan ink that came out
Oh,
with it.
really?
I've not switched out to any other ink because it's just perfect for each other. And
Yeah,
I think I've re-inked it like 4 times with the same ink already.
nice. I don't ever do that. I've done that maybe like 2 times.
So I got this pen like I think after the first wave was sold, they decided to re-release it again,
Right.
and there's like a waiting list like of 100 pieces. And I got on that waiting list, and turns out they made more after that. But anyway, it was cute. It was cute. It came with that really cool cardboard box that mimics a fruit
They're
box in
so
Japan.
cute.
I still keep
Yeah.
that box on my tabletop, so it's perfect.
That's like the one pen box I would keep. I don't keep them. I know we've talked about this before. I was like, what if you want to sell it? I'm like, I don't want to sell it. That's why I'm buying it. As I say now.
So these three are my favorite pens, and in this case, I guess we're both referring a little bit to, well, me mostly fountain pens, but you had a little variety there.
I know I slipped one in there.
I know. I'm now that I'm thinking about it, if I wasn't talking about fountain pen, which pen would really stand out? And I'm like, I've been using a lot of fountain pen this year, I guess.
What about all your Uniball ones?
I know, right? They're like great, but they're not like top three material.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I also if we're doing like honorable mention, which we're not, but I'm throwing this in there anyway, is the Wicked Witch 1911
Ah,
large that I got. I just inked this up with the Naruto orange ink that
mm,
Toasty gave me a sample of when I was in Houston, and it looks really cool. So just
oh
throwing that
wow,
in there.
the purple with the orange. That
It's
does work.
so Halloweeny, and yeah, I know that pen didn't come out this year, but I got it this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the next section, I would love to talk a little bit about our top three notebook slash journal slash diary. I think the paper part of this obsession, right?
Yep.
Like what's great, what's not. It could become kind of like a mini, like kind of techo kaigi, like what's our favorite planner, but
Yeah.
or it could just be any other notebook. It could be any special paper notebook that you like. So, what's
Which I
what's
have.
your what's your top
I've
three?
got. I've got all three. So number one, I brought these down here for a reason. Okay. Hobonichi Weeks,
Benichi
which
Weeks.
in 2022 I had the obnoxious Inuyasha version, and this year I've got the melon soda cafe one, which is perfect. But this just continues to be my favorite way to plan day-to-day stuff, put in
Stationery
work
dump.
stationery dump, put in work schedule. Like sometimes it's not quite as crazy. I don't know, maybe it is all the time. But I like to put in when my favorite sandwich shop is closed because they do that sometimes, and I'm like, oh, gotta make a note of it because I'll be sad if I'm like, all right, time for break bread, and it's like, nope, they're on
So
vacation.
you actually have some other restaurant schedule on your weeks.
Hey, it's right around the corner from Oblation, and it's so delicious.
You know what? I feel like I regret not doing that because for the majority of this year, almost every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I will actually check to see if this food truck is available that has the Sunny. It's called Sunny Up, and it's got this breakfast sandwich. And my
Oh,
favorite thing to do is like on when I wake up on a Saturday morning and Sunday morning is to go to their page and see if they're near me. Like that's like the thing I would do.
yeah,
I should
that
have just put it on the calendar.
you should do it this year.
Damn it.
So
Missed
yeah,
opportunity.
this just continues to be my ride or die, and that's probably not going to change. And number 2 would be my traveler's notebook inserts. Actually, I said passport size, but really the standard size as well.
Mm,
Because this year I have it archived in my little 011 insert from Travelers.
the hard binder.
The hard binder that is like the archive, the refill archive thing.
That's right.
Like this one from this year, I remember I started it when I went to DC, and I think it was over. When was it over? Ugh. October 2022.
Ooh.
So that lasted what, like 3 months or so?
Yeah, from the beginning of August to October. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I did a fair bit of journaling in the passport size last year as well. And there's, from our little Houston meetup,
Cute.
like, oops, there goes a pencil board. I just really like journaling in traveler's notebooks, and I think I've talked about that before as well. But there's something about both the passport and the standard size equally that, like, I don't know. And the fact that the inserts aren't so daunting and enormous, and like, it feels good to finish it, and then you're like, oh, now
Yeah,
you
you're
start a
right.
new one.
It doesn't feel forever to fill up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and you can start a new one whenever without feeling like you're like wasting a whole year of planner.
And that's the good part about traveler's notebooks. And then number 3 for me is going to be this guy, which I know I also talk about a lot, and she's really chunked up quite a bit, but it's the Leuchtturm 1917. It's an A5 dot grid. And people ask me at my job a lot, like, so how does this do with fountain pen? It's honestly really good with fountain pen. Like, it's not my favorite paper of all time, but I feel like it performs well. And it's my, like, witchy tarot slash nature observation type journal. And, like, I was thinking to myself when April put these questions together, I was like, did I even use this in 2022? And I used it quite a bit, actually.
Nice.
I think during the end of the year I wasn't as much, but there's a lot in here, like this cute little strawberry section here.
Oh, that's cute. With
I
the
have this, like-
strawberry wrapping paper, I think, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, lots of tarot and like this kind of crap here. I don't know. I do collage. It just doesn't look like other people's. So
it's kind of like your
know.
whatever interest, hobby kind of catch-all book. I like it. So you got like Hobonichi Weeks, which is your planner, the passport size, which is your diary journaling kind of thing for trips and stuff, and then the as above, so below.
Yeah, and this book, I got it, I believe, in 2020, and I've used 100 pages, and there are 250 pages, and I'm like, holy moly, this is gonna It's gonna just be around forever.
It's gonna last for another while.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's here to stay.
It's kind of cool though that you can like kind of have that book like continue with you for so many years and
Yeah.
then still be relevant, which is hard.
Yeah. And it's funny how I was just saying like, "Oh yeah, Travelers is great because it's not huge." And this one is like, "Yeah, it's huge and I like that too."
You're just a walking contradiction.
There's just,
But aren't we all in the
yeah.
stationery hobby?
For sure.
We will say we don't like a certain thing, and then the next thing you know, I got a blue book, something like that.
Yeah. So
Um,
what's your top 3?
okay, so I feel like I'm kind of just going over like my most used books because
Yeah, that's what I tried to do
I want to
too.
be true to the topic, right? If it's the
Totally.
reason it makes it into top 3 is because I really heckin' love using it this entire year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just like you, your ride and die is the week. My ride and die is the cousin of Vec. And
Totally.
it's a chunky 912 gram.
Oh, wow.
Just a second of Vec. My chunky second of Vec is 912 gram, which is about 2 pounds, 4 ounces.
That's impressive.
And so if you count both books, because my first half of the Vec is just as large, this is probably a 4-pound completed diary of my
It's
life.
like a premature baby. That would be a very, very small baby, though.
Such a grotesque way of describing it. Kelly, not comfortable with that.
Sorry.
A cute little animal, a little rabbit. Why don't you say things like that? Okay.
How about like a little kitten baby?
Or a large burrito, things like that.
I don't know what you expect from me.
Anyway, super cute. So my Hobonichi, my ride and die, it has been filled with just photos, cutouts, postcards.
Oh, that was from me.
That Kelly sends me because they're very nice. This year for the second half, I did a lot more writing and just photos. You can even say it's kind of scrapbooking like, but I remember when I started out using the Hobonichi, it was purely doodles and writing.
Yeah.
And I think in the busier months of my life, since the pandemic started kind of like opening up to more travel and more trips and stuff, I started to have less time for doodles, but I still do them occasionally, especially when it's like food that I like to eat. I like to draw them out. But I did find myself
with the ginkgo blanket.
Yes, like little illustrations like that. But I did also enjoy that I could like really just slap some realistic photos in there to really show how nice that like dish is, or like how beautiful a certain scene is, or like when we went to Portland, like a group photo of all of us.
Oh.
I can never draw that, so
I feel like you could.
I'd rather just put in the real photo, and I've been just loving it so much, and knowing that it's like jam packed with every little nuance, memory, happy things, sad things, disappointed moments, happy moments. It's just like I felt pretty alive and proud of myself for keeping up with one thing, right? Like if nothing else, I kept up with journaling this year.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite top 3. I think if we continue this topic, it might always be in my top 3 when other things cycle out. Second item, number 2, is not a surprise, but actually also pretty special for me because I actually did not think I used my Traverse notebooks as much any other year versus this year. I used my Traverse notebook so much this year. And I think it is also because we started going on so many trips to pen shows, DC, San Francisco, and then we went down to Portland during summer for the Travel and Sketch. I went back to Taiwan and then went to Japan again and went to Taiwan again. There was just a lot of trips that dotted like throughout this year. I went up to Vancouver too. And each of them became, more than a single page of my Hobonichi could handle,
Right.
So they all spill into my refills. And which is funnily enough, they came out with the limited sets, right? Which is like keep on traveling in your mind, but we actually
Yep.
did travel a lot this year. So
Yeah.
the hotel set was the one I got, and turns out to be perfect because I'm staying at all these places, and the hotel set
Which I
really
still
like
might get for myself too. It's
I
the
can't
best
I
one.
can't believe Kelly did not get the hotel set.
There's
You
still some left in Oblation. I still have a chance.
tell that to yourself, Kelly. So I love it. And you said you used like how many refills did you use this year in total for your Traverse notebook?
I didn't actually check. I usually it's roughly like 3 months for a normal size refill for me because I don't do it like every day.
So that would be like probably 4 refills maybe
Yeah,
this
or
year.
at least three. Or no, because I did more earlier. Yeah, I think I probably got four.
I think I filled like 6 refills this year. So every
Nice.
2 months. So just they're all like really really documentary type, like with the Hobonichi you can only squeeze it into 1 page, and for this one
Hmm.
I could like spread out with like 3 doodles
Yeah.
per three
Yeah.
hours, or like
Yeah.
multiple photos of a singular event like across 5 pages. And I really just went ham because I in the back of my head I know I have many refills, and I'm just gonna I do
Right.
not have to worry about running out. So
No.
for me, each time I journal in my Traverse notebook, it's more of like a race against myself. Like, April, how fast can you go through this refill so you can start the next one?
Yeah.
So
Yep, I'm in the same boat.
I gotta get more of those the hard refill storage thing to start
I
documenting my
know.
stuff. So I'm starting my new one this year too, the Superior Labor refill that my friend Esther gifted me.
Uh,
The barbershop striped refill is so beautiful, and it's just an MD cream, my favorite layout. Actually, my favorite layout might be the dock grid as well, but the
mm-hmm.
MD cream is a close second. And I'm excited, especially using it with the new diner set that just came out. Can't
Yes.
wait to switch into that in January.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
And yeah, I just love my Traverse notebook, and I feel like this is the year I don't feel guilty about owning so many covers because I literally swapped through all of them.
Yeah.
I used the olive one for the Pacific Northwest trip. I used the hotel one for my Taiwan trip, and I think I used the blue one for a little. Remember when we went to uh what's that place in Oregon with
Hood
Elliot?
River?
Yeah, Hood River. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I bring my hotel, or did I bring my Starbucks
I'm
resort?
pretty sure you brought the hotel because you're like,
Aw.
oh, I got the hotel
Oh,
because we're
that's right,
staying
because
in
we
a
stayed at a
hotel.
haunted hotel. No, why did I remember that? Darn it. Oh man, I remember waking up the second day. I was so uncomfortable. Once I knew it was a haunted hotel, I felt like something was tugging at my feet as I was sleeping.
No way. I don't
Anyway.
remember that. That's kind of amazing though,
Ah,
but also terrifying.
to live in ignorance is such a good thing until you know. Anyway, the point is, I really used multiple covers. Like I switched them out like it's outfit for the season, and I think that's the reason
Yeah.
why many of us had many of them. To change that feeling, a refresh start when you go on this trip, and then you just want like
Yeah.
a new partner to come with you,
Totally.
something
And
like that.
it's like how people buy different purses. The same thing,
So I love that, and
but not as
then.
expensive.
Hey,
Maybe.
purses.
I don't know.
Nah, I think yeah, it could be more expensive. It could be less expensive.
Depends on if you buy superior labor. I'm kidding.
Or plotter, which is what I'm about to mention next. Top three, third one. My plotter, and actually my plotter 5th anniversary Lishio green, because I've wanted a green plotter since I know of its existence, and they never had a green plotter, right? Like I started using it in 2021,
Hmm.
November, and it's always been the black liscio, which is like the top line leather, that nice Italian smell. But then finally this year September, or last year September, 2022 September, it was the 5th anniversary, and they came out with an olive green, and it was like dream come true because one of my favorite
Yeah.
cover from Travelers is the olive green leather. And it just feels nice to have like that olive green for the leisure part of my life and then the olive green for the professional part of my life because I use Plotter for like
Yeah.
actual planning. It's my personal planner, just like how you use your weeks. It's got a
Hmm.
monthly section where I just track like all the appointments that I have, obligations, cookies, grooming schedule, our planner, journaling, meetup schedules, and then days when I have to go to the dentist, which I had to go to a lot last year.
Mm.
um, I used the weekly section. So the plotter is a ring binder, so it's really customizable. So you can put any kind of paper in it. But for my plotter, my Bible size 5th anniversary Licio Green specifically, I used only the monthly and the weekly pages, and then I also used a bunch of like dot grid or grid pages at the back for like some free writings and notes. So the weekly really acts just like the Hobonichi weeks. The layout is even similar. It's got like 7 days on one side and it extends to
Hmm.
the right side. So it's been really helpful for writing down to-do lists. Um, I love that they have the project manager that is kind of like a folder that holds extra sheets. So, Plotter came at a time when I was feeling kind of like annoyed at bound book systems for planning. Um,
Yeah.
when I was in my marketing job, like the bound book, it like kind of I run out of space, or I have to keep flipping back to look for like things that I have to do every week, which is really
Hmm.
annoying. So the ring system really came at a good time, and this has been my busiest year since working at Designville, and the ring binder system has been perfect. So I use both the A5 size and the Bible size, but I'm talking about the Bible size because it kind of gives me that space to plan my personal scheduling, planning things aside from work.
Yeah.
So my favorite top threes: Plotter, Hobonichi, Travelers. Hobonichi is still my number one though. Still my number one. Sorry. No, no. I hope some K-pop listeners get that reference.
But you had a special mention though.
Oh, that's right. I do have a special mention because I feel like if we're not talking about planners that I tout all the time, which is those
Yeah.
the previous three, I really like the thinking of you. This year, we started out strong with the Stationery Cafe podcast, Patreon, and it
Hmm.
had been the book where we organize our like
Oh
schedules
yeah.
of like when we're posting this blog post and we're doing that. And I was using the side to-do list to write down like stationery purchases. And then
Oh yeah.
remember those explosive pages
Oh
where we just like
yeah.
decorate and use our stuff? Like, I have the same strawberry wrapping that you were
Oh
using in your
cute.
spread. This was my Shizuoka strawberry week. You can
Nice.
tell it's all
Yeah.
strawberry. And so I was really enjoying so much collaging with the himekuri, with the stationery memo sets, with photos that I print out, and the 1 week across 2-page layout in an A5 size notebook planner, like the Thinking of You, is a really stress free way to document the week.
Hmm.
Hobonichi 1 day, 1 page is a lot.
Yeah.
Travelers like could be 2 days a page, but it's still not as condensed as like fitting one whole week into 2 spreads. So I had it all decked out and I used it periodically. Like I feel like I never gave up on this. Like I may have
Hmm.
months where I pause, but
Hmm.
I always come back to it. I really did drop off towards the last 2 months, November and December, but because I was away. So I'm sad to bid this book goodbye. It would have been it's an honorary mention. I really like it. It's Tomorrow River paper. They made it again this year. But I'll just have to see if I eventually might come back to it. It's just
Totally.
not for me in 2023 anymore. I got another book for that. Yeah. Which I talked
Who's
about in the
surprised?
Techokaiki, I think. So you guys can go listen to that episode. Okay, finally, last section, top three stationery accessories. Because, like, basically, aside from the pens, aside from the paper notebook, what else? What else did you enjoy this year?
So these are also sort of ride or die at this point. Um, And I need to, oh boy, nope, that's not right. So first thing, I just happen to have this Kokuyo dot liner right now, but I've kind of been struggling with finding a consistent glue tape. But like glue tape in general is one of my favorite accessories, which is, it's kind of boring, but it's like it's really important for like
No, yeah, for gluing down ephemera, gluing down receipts, things in our
or like gluing down little memo sheets.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Like it should not be overlooked. And I was really pleased because I noticed that the Glue GLOO brand, we were able to order that for oblation.
Nice.
So I did buy one of those, and then I got one of the refills too. Or wait, I don't think I did get a refill, but we have them in the shop, so I'm like, when I need a refill, I can get it.
Nice.
Because ideally I want one that I can always refill. And I was getting refills from like Yoseka for the dot liner, but I think they are just out of stock. And like I didn't want to keep. Yeah, and I didn't want to keep ordering from Amazon Japan because that's just kind of annoying. I don't know. So if anybody knows of another like glue tape brand that they like, and I'm not as big of a fan of the Tombow ones that are like US release ones because they're so big. And
they're
I'm like,
huge.
I don't want a big one. I want one that I can like carry around. I'm picky, okay?
How about that Muji one? The Muji one is really nice.
I feel like the refill runs out really fast.
Well, because it's small and like easy and like affordable.
I'm realizing right now that I sound like one of my customers. Like, yeah, you have that, but I don't want it like that. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Kelly, tell it to yourself.
I'm the problem, it's me. So, anyway, glue tape. Number 2, I'm sure I've talked about this 1,000 times as well. My TRC brass ruler that's patinaed very beautifully.
For those who know Kelly, well, I know her well, and it's like TRC brass ruler equals Kelly. Yeah.
It does. It's just, it's always there for me because it's mostly used when I, cut the washi tape.
Exactly, it's your washi cutter, actually.
But I do also use it for, drawing straight lines. So it's very multi-purpose. I love it so much.
I still don't have one. I don't know why.
No way! And you don't have one?
And I literally just bought a second Midori aluminum ruler the other day because I keep losing rulers. Like, they just keep disappearing from my table until I buy a second one. Then I find the first one. So I'm like, where's my brass ruler? Because I also have one from Gallon Leather, which I cannot find as well.
Wait, I think that was on the other desk. I'm
Was
pretty sure I saw that. Yeah,
okay,
when I was there.
I'll have to look at the other desk.
It's like skinny, right?
No, it's the flat, big one. Oh yeah, and I do have a skinny one. You're right. I do have a skinny one.
My God.
So I'm looking for both of them right now. That's right. I forgot I had that one.
Oh, all right. Well, there we go with April. So, what did I say? Okay, the last thing is, which I was talking with April about how I really wish that Travelers would make this part of their regular lineup. But she does not have a say in that whatsoever. It's the sticker release paper. I have it in the standard and the passport size. It's where you put all your PET tape things, where you put all your little stickers that you're sick of keeping the sticker paper for.
Yeah.
It's so convenient, and customers ask for it all the time, and
it's
sold out.
Addition to the Traverse setup, especially when you're like on the go and you want to like preserve some washi tapes. You don't want to bring your roll.
Yes.
Or like collect stickers and ephemeras on the way of your trip. I brought a smaller passport size with me to Japan, like this
Oh,
last year.
yeah.
And I was saving some little labels and stickers from like, when you buy like from convenience stores, the packaging sometimes have
Oh,
some
yeah.
stickers. So I peel them off and I put it in the sticker release paper
Yeah.
refill. Yeah,
So
I
if
they
Travelers Company listens to our podcast, I know they probably don't, but we want it a part of their regular lineup, please.
I feel like they will eventually. Didn't they? I don't know. For some reason, I felt like they released it in April 2021, right? That was before I joined the company, and I remember
Yeah,
reading
because it was the
something.
B-sides.
Yeah, I remember reading something about how they're like, oh, popular ones will be potentially considered or something like that. Or maybe Yuri
I
said
feel
that
like
or something to
I
me.
hope she did. I feel like they must. It's gonna happen.
It's a great product for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I'll kind of segue to my top three.
Yeah.
Traverse Notebook again. The brass clips. For
I do
me,
love those too.
the brass clips really is an essential. Like, not just the Travelers, I love my gallon leather one as well. Um, they are just so important to holding your pages down. Oh, you have the one that says
I have
Travelers
the
Notebook.
logo.
And
Yeah.
it's really surprising to me. Like, I love it when I scroll Instagram and I come across some artist that, you don't think is in the stationery circle. And suddenly they have the Traveler's brass clip
Yeah.
clamping on their sketchbooks. And I'm just like, ah!
It's
ah!
a good product.
Pleasant surprise. Like, it's so applicable and, to to be fair, I do sometimes use them to clip chips, like a really
Oh my
expensive
God,
chip clip.
April.
But it's just that
Yeah.
useful. It sits around my table if
That
I
does
need.
not surprise me whatsoever.
So obviously you use it to clamp down pages of your notebooks, like especially the Travelers, because it doesn't like lay flat. So it's nice to have something with weight to
Yeah.
hold them down. Another thing I actually like to do with the brass clips is that I get like these, you know, piles of PT tape samples.
Yes, I actually noticed that on our stationery table. I was like, "Oh, April's got a little
I just
little
love
stash there."
I just love clamping it together like an entire pile, like almost half an inch thick of PET samples, and I just clamp it together with a clip
Yeah.
with the Traverse notebook clip. And so I have originally just two, the one with the airplane logo, and then the other one
Hmm.
with the Travelers. But then somehow, remember, I went down to Portland. I'm like, Kelly, I lost my clip. I need to buy one immediately.
Yeah.
So I bought the second airplane one, and of course, I did not lose it. I came back and found it. All the time,
Oh,
just
April.
all the time. And then I'm
Oh.
really looking forward to finally opening my Starbucks Reserve
Oh, I really
Tokyo
want that one
brass
too.
clip. So
So good.
I'm really happy about my collection, and they do great just clamping onto the side of the rascock, which is where I usually keep them. So
Oh, that's a good idea.
they just kind of go on there, and then when I need to use them, I just turn around and
You
reach
know
for
where it
it for
is.
my
That's smart.
chips or for.
God damn it.
And it's
Oh,
great for like my
April.
urban sketching setup too, because I actually like to clamp like paper towels to my board, or like
Yeah.
clamping my art toolkit palette, which is the second thing I was about to talk about.
Hey.
That actually works great. So my second favorite thing this year are art toolkit watercolor palettes. They are like little thin aluminum stainless steel cases, super portable, and they have what I'm holding up to the camera for the video is the larger folio size, which is a little bit the size of my palm, but they have a
Mhm.
more standard card size, like a business card size, called the
It's
pocket
very
palette.
tiny.
And that one has been super convenient for on the go, especially with the Traverse notebook, because it fits into the sleeves of the zipper
That's right.
cases. So
Yeah.
my setup typically when I'm urban sketch is like I don't like my stuff scattered. I like everything to be on the page. So I would take the brass clip and clip it onto the top part of the palette and clip
Oh,
it to my book, and then I can literally just hold on to the book to paint. So
that's cool.
it works really well. And the pocket palette holds just enough paint for you to do a nice painting. Like the smaller one that I use holds like I think 12 one, two, three, yeah, 12 half pans because they're thin little pallets.
So is that a quarter pan?
Yeah, quarter pan, but they look like, yeah, I guess I'm like trying to describe it, but I think quarter pans might be the right size for that, right ounce inch.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite use accessory, not just for urban sketching, but also for like journaling too. Because my Hobonichi I doodle, and I just need to like dab a little color. I don't need to pull out my heavy like watercolor palette sets. The art toolkit is just a small one that sits on my desk, so it's perfect. And the last item, accessories that I've been obsessed with this year is actually um, wooden stamps.
Yes.
And this is like completely the ecosystem, I think, and I blame the Taiwanese creators because they love wooden stamps so much.
Yes.
Almost all the Taiwanese creators, illustrators, like have wooden stamps, and I especially love the ones that say things. So it's kind of like, unfortunately, they're all in Chinese.
I was gonna say I can't read any of it, but they look really pretty.
There's this large one that says "Help me" right here, and then
Oh,
this
yeah.
one that says "Do what you love," and then there's one that spells Fuck but reversed.
Nice.
So when you
Oh.
stamped it, it will be reversed. But
There's days I would use that.
Exactly.
A lot of days I would use that.
I just love wooden stamps so much, and like somehow my trip back to Taiwan accelerated my collection up to like
Somehow.
like
I don't know how it happened.
10x my collection, to be frank. Like I don't think I have this much rubber stamps until I went back to Taiwan, and they are all like wood mounted, and so I was coming back to the US, put my suitcase on the scale, and I was, what is so heavy? Like, why is my suitcase so heavy? It's because of all the wood I was carrying back with the stamps.
Worth it.
Worth it though. I love these things so much, and they work great with travelers notebooks because of the MD paper.
Oh yeah.
Not so good with the TRP, but you know it works. You just have to like be careful and wait for it to dry, not smudge it and anything. But
Yeah.
next year, do I have a notebook? Oh, no, the Fleer Lab is also TRP. Ooh, okay. I'll try to incorporate it, but it used to work really well with like the hours book I was using the beginning of the year last year.
And I have one of those.
I know. Hopefully that
It's
will
all stickers. I'm just literally putting stickers in it. And that's
it's like a
that's
sticker
really
book.
fun.
A non-removable sticker book for Kelly.
It's great.
Hopefully it will sustain and make it to your top 3 next year, you know?
Yes.
So finally, kind of winding down. It was fun to kind of reflect on what we like a lot, though.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's nice to kind of be like, okay, a practice of being conscious about your stuff.
Totally.
And that brings us to the last topic. You know, what are your New Year's goals, habits that you kind of want to apply to yourself, stationery wise, lifestyle wise? Anything you like to share? Anything for them to capture sound bites of us to taunt us like 3 months down?
Yeah, I know. For April's, I'm for sure gonna do that.
Hey! Did you still remember last year you said you're not buying any more notebooks? I'll forever hold you down to that.
You know, I vaguely remember that. I did all right, sort of, maybe. No. Okay, so here's my first thing, which is gonna shock a lot of people. No new ink bottles. Okay. And then I feel like there's going to be an asterisk there.
Okay.
With an exception of like, if there's an ink called like Halloween Cat or something. And I'm like, well, I have to frickin' buy that.
Witch's Potion, you know, or something
right,
like
right.
that.
Like there's not one of those already and I've avoided buying it. But because I have a lot of ink and I have a lot of samples. I have a lot of bottles. I basically have any color that I could need, quote unquote, like we need them in the first place. But like I've got a lot, and I want to use it. You know, I
This
don't
ink
want it to just sit
Numa
there.
in my house. Yes, I need
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. So I just want to use what I have, and you know, practice that. So hold me to that. Unless it's like
No,
Tears of
no
Nessie
judgment
or
in this
something.
episode. No judgment in this episode.
Okay, cool.
I will support you in this episode.
And then no impulse buying pens. No impulse buying pens.
That makes
There's
sense.
the emphasis.
That makes a lot
on
of
that.
sense, though. Yeah.
So, and I've already been doing good on that. Like, for example, I did not buy the Sage Kaweco Sport, even though it's a really pretty green color.
You didn't? Wow.
I didn't do it.
Oh my god, that is a big improvement on Kelly's part, because she always buys the new Kawecos.
I do, because they're always cute. In fact, I am going to be getting rid of this one. I might give this to my roommate Maddie. But it's the frosted coconut Kaweco Sport that I literally bought on an impulse because Kirk Spear was grinding nibs, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll have you do a fude for me, and I just literally bought a Kaweco on the spot.
With like a more expensive grind than the pen itself.
Yep. So,
Nice.
I just put that grind onto a different Kaweco, so this just has a medium nib, but I just don't, this doesn't really bring me anything. Also, I did not buy the Royal Jade Twisby. I do have the two glow ones.
The purple glow and the green glow from this last year.
But yeah, I just want my pen buying to be more intentional, and not just oh my god. No judgment this episode.
No judgment. No, I was really saying okay. That's nice. You took it another way.
That's nice. That just sounded so genuine. So okay. And then those are really my only stationery things.
Nice.
My other things are I want to keep prioritizing daily movement, which I feel like saying it that way is less intimidating than saying you have to run for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to happen.
We don't like the word workout here.
But I think it is important to move every day, and more than just moving to the car, going to work, and moving back home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have been keeping track when I go on walks, so I'm trying to do that more. Also, practice self-love.
Preach.
Important. And related to that, do not settle for less than you're worth. And I wanted to say that to everybody listening out there. If you're in a situation that you feel like, this isn't really that great, don't settle. Just get out of there. You don't need to be there. You need to do what's best for you.
Yay!
So that's what I want to do for myself too. And then listen to more records, because I was telling April that one of my roommates, she's got a record player, and I'd never actually sat down and listened to a record before. But she will occasionally be working from home and have the record player on, and then I'm cooking and listening to the record, and she has to go up and change it when it runs out. I'm man, there's just something about this that feels a lot like typewriters and analog crap.
It's very analog. It's part of the analog life. That's why that's one of Ichima's favorite hobby, is to listen on a record player.
It's a very vibe. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
And I want to explore it more, and I realize that that's something that is a hobby that is probably also expensive when you get into it, but I don't know, I'm curious about it, and if you have an opinion, let me know it, because I want to know one of the random things, sorry, small tangent, is some record players can connect to a Bluetooth. Ooh. And I'm that seems counterintuitive, does it not? I don't know about that. Tell me if that's if that lessens
the... But the look of it. Oh, so you mean it's like a speaker, but it looks like a record player.
Right, I don't get it. I'm no, you don't do that. What do you put on
it? It just spins a blank plate.
Right. I'm no, I don't want that. So Anyway, yeah. Tell me about records. That's my takeaway from this
From
podcast.
what I learned about, since they did the limited sets, one of it is the records. Like Ijima wrote about it, and he says like, records get scratchier throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year because they get scratched, and so like as you listen to it, they get a little bit more, um, loop like what do you call it, twitchy, like
Yeah.
there's like some glitches throughout, but
Yep.
then that's also part of the charm. So a little bit like
Yes.
embracing
100%.
imperfection, and that which makes it even
Yeah.
better, so I kind of like
I'm
that about
into it.
records. Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay, let's
Kelly.
all not laugh at what April's about to say. We're holding it in because she held it in for me.
I was about to say you had really good goals this year. Let's hope that you can do it, okay?
Thank you.
Before I move on to my topic, because throughout the entire conversation, I keep looking at my glass display case for my pens, and I'm just like, holy moly! I thought
In trouble.
I was just gonna keep it to 4 levels of storage, and that's it. So,
And
um,
then
and then my goal was like counterintuitive to my plan for that.
there's
So
surprise there's another fruit in the fruit basket of pens.
so
Like the lemon.
oh my goodness, the lemon, I forgot about it. It's not in my top 3. It's because I haven't started using it yet. So one of my routine this year was to clean out a lot of my pens, and I was gonna re-ink them afresh like in the New Year's, which I plan to do tomorrow. So the lemon
Okay.
is definitely getting inked up tomorrow.
Yay.
But my stationery goal, one of them, because I'm gonna do the stationery part first, is
Mhm.
I'm still gonna do 1 pen per quarter, but asterisks. This
Mm.
year I'm adding an asterisk. Green pens don't count.
Oh my god, April.
What? It's realistic, I guess. I'm being
It
realistic.
is realistic. Okay, you know what? I'm proud of you for saying that. That's self-aware.
It's self-awareness. I
'Cause
realize 1 pen per quarter is not realistic. If I keep seeing green pens, then
if they keep happening.
they keep
Yeah.
happening. So
To be fair, it is a specific type of green. It's
it
not
is.
all green
It's not all
pens.
greens. Like if you, I am still very particular about green pens, but if there's a green, and it's not like I'm buying every green pen that came out. If there's
That's
a
true. You
green
didn't-
pen out there that I really
didn't get
like,
the
I didn't
glow.
get the glow. If there's a green pen out there that I like, then I am not going to count it in my 1 pen per quarter goal.
You know what? I like the self-awareness of that goal, and I feel like it's more attainable this way.
Yes. And in my head, I already know 2 pens I'm getting next year out of my 4 pen quota that is not green.
Oh well, you probably the Yoseka one.
The
'cause, like,
Yoseka third
yeah.
pen, and then
I'll probably get that one.
and then actually it already came out, the cocktail series, the one that looks like a yogurt with the purple, that one.
Yeah,
I forgot the drink for that one, but like
me too. But it's the one that I like
that's
too.
the one that's the best out of the 5. So, and it's a Pro Gear, right? Like it comes in the Pro Gear. So I like Pro Gear. And actually the Pro Gear rule is gonna help me a lot this year for my goal.
Like the Pro Gear rule? What does that mean?
Like,
what's the Pro Gear
don't buy
rule?
Pro Gear Slims.
Oh,
because that's gonna rule out a lot of fun pens, for me. So
I'm a Pro Gear Slim person. But anyway,
but
Pro Gear Slim.
That's not related to me. Like I like if someone comes up with a melon soda pen and it's green, then it's not part of my 4 pen quota. That's just how it works, right?
I like that you can kind of take bits and pieces and be like, oh, let's slip that in here, and like.
And so just kind of like a little tangent on this topic as well. Like I'm looking at my pen tray, and so I use that beautiful pen tray that's made by that Filipino creator that does the little wavy acrylic mode that fits into the Muji acrylic shelf, and it holds 10 pens per tray. So I filled 4 trays of my 5-tier acrylic shelf now. I have 1 slot left. Which unfortunately is recently filled by the Twisby Royal Jade. I realized because I haven't opened it yet. That's why there's that opening.
How do you not open it? I'm so confused.
The good thing is I still have 1 last tray of that acrylic shelf and one last 10 slot tray insert.
Oh.
So that gives me the maximum, like the maximum I ever want to reach in my fountain pen collection used to be
Oh.
40, but now can be 50.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
that's it. Like
That's about where I'm
if
at.
I'm committing to like more, that means I have to get another 5 tier shelf, and I'm not doing that. Like I'm not gonna commit to 50 more fountain pens in my
You could
life.
just get like a 3-tier shelf.
No, the more it's more like if I want to expand beyond 50 pence, I have to sell something out of that 50 pence,
Mm.
which is not hard because I do have some Twispies in there. I still have some
Oh
Puras in
yeah,
there. They're not hard to get rid of. So,
yeah,
like for
that's
me,
true.
like I mean, it's not hard for me to let go of them. So I feel
Yeah.
like there's still space for me to sell pens that I no longer connect with, and then
Hmm.
invite in new pens that speaks to
For
me
sure.
for future phases of my life. Maybe another uh, another, one of those more expensive $500 nakayas. Or actually, are they even $500? No, they're probably like $800 right now,
Oh
or
gosh.
$900. Anyway, so that's kind of the one stationery goal I can specifically put a number on. One pen per
Yeah,
one pen per
I think
quarter.
that's doable.
Green pens don't count.
Green pens don't count.
And then the other two things are more of like intentions I want to hold myself to this year with stationery. I feel like the past 2 year has been our stationery glow year. We've done the stationery cafe intensely. I shopped intensely. I feel like I went on these trips where I've been held back for a while because we've been stuck in the US. Like we weren't able to go back to
Yeah,
Taiwan. We weren't able to go back to Japan and see and touch those stationery in person. So I went all out, right? But then
yeah.
I feel like that was probably because of inhibition that led me to like kind of YOLO both times.
Hmm.
So
Totally.
I felt like it just doesn't make sense to do that every single time. So
Yeah.
so I've thoroughly enjoyed my stationary years the past 3 years. Next, starting this year, I'm gonna start to be a little bit more conscious and really pick and find things that I feel like I will like and use like immediately and for a long time. Because I buy sticker sheets, but I hoard them, which is not a good thing. Um, I buy cool pen cases, and I put them in my drawer and I swap them out only when I go
Hmm.
out. So things like that. So less superior labor cases for me.
Mm.
They used to be, like, oh, this is cool. I want them because I felt like I wasn't using them as frequently as I like to. And and then I want to also use more of what I have. I bought a
Hmm.
bunch of beautiful stuff this past year, um, at pen shows, at trips
Mm.
and stuff. So I'm really excited to put them to good use on the trips I'm going to this year, and really enjoy my space a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's gonna be a use your shit kind of year.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love that.
Judy,
I
yeah,
I love
I
that too.
finally hear you, Judy, from Tokuvetsu Memory. I
Yeah.
hear you loud and clear. It's on my Hobonichi. Her sticker.
It's true.
Use your shit. I'm putting the E for enabling sign behind me. I'm removing it from my Twitch overlay once I remember to do so, and and I'm gonna be using a lot more stuff and enjoying stationery a lot more this year.
That's good.
Yay!
Love that.
And then life wise, I think I just like you, I really want to, prioritize my health. I feel like, we all went all out during the pandemic, YOLO, eat what you like, gain that 19 pounds. It's time to for me to really like see if I could like kind of get back to a more healthier me that I like, where I felt stronger
Hmm.
physically and hopefully mentally. And I want to spend more time with people I care about, family members, because this year I experienced a little bit of intense moments with my family, and I really want to like continue solidifying the relationship
Yeah.
even though I live in a different country, and also spend more time training and building relationship with Cookie to foster him for a more healthy and longer life in the future if we were to actually go out into civilization again, as it seems to be what people are doing.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't. I can no longer hide behind the pandemic as an excuse to not take Cookie out more.
Yeah.
so, so that's what I want to do. And then I think this year I'm gonna enjoy documenting more about things outside the stationery hobby. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna start journaling more about K drama, about musics that I listen to. I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of the Spotify rap last year reminded me about a lot of songs that I really liked last year, but
Yeah.
they kind of just like came into my life and then left as soon as
Yeah.
that promotion period is over. And I don't know, I feel like they left an impact during different moments of my life, and I kind of want to incorporate music a little bit more, music that I enjoy a little bit more into, I
Yeah.
guess, my analog documentary phase. So gonna use a lot of that record stamp from the record set
Yes,
a
exactly.
lot more.
I've been using that when I go to concerts and journal about the concerts.
That's right, you do that. So I need to do that for like just me and my playlist and the K drama
Yeah.
and the K pop songs that I've been just really much enjoying recently. So a lot more new directions, I think, of stationery this year for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Very
I love that.
exciting.
And also, yeah, totally like all the shit I want to give you aside, I think you can totally do the 1 pen per quarter excluding green pens. I'm here for you. I'm gonna try to hold you to it.
I think it's
Just you
doable.
hold me to the ink thing.
I will hold you to the ink thing because like I didn't specifically set a rule about not buying more ink bottles, but I do feel like I bought a lot this year, and we found a really good community, locally, where everyone just has a big
Mhm.
variety of inks. And I really find that it's probably really feasible for us to just kind of share inks all
Yeah,
around. So I think you can
totally.
do it. I think you can totally not buy new ink bottles. Just don't talk to CY during all the pen
Ugh,
shows. Yeah. just
I mean, I'm gonna be working with him in the
just
California
just
pen
don't
show.
talk to him outside of like working hours. Like, sorry, CY, I'm clocking out. I can't talk to you anymore.
See ya.
Like,
See you tomorrow.
exactly.
I'm gonna eat dinner alone.
Oh, it's gonna be so great.
Yeah.
And then I want to just kind of round out this episode with, as always, some stationery news. And I'm glad you didn't make any promises about notebooks, Kelly, because
Oh, I know. I didn't even see this
empty
until you
paper
brought it
about to
up.
come and get our beep. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Kelly,
really
was
good.
it like 2017? I think I was down in Portland a lot. It was my first year in Seattle, and then I was just like
Mhm.
buying MD notebook 10th anniversary stuff from Oblation, and then finding them at
Mhm.
Powell's. Such a
That's like right when I had started working there
I
a little bit
know, it was kind
after.
of like
Yeah.
the beginning of our Pacific Northwest
Yeah.
stationery
Yeah.
adventure. So it's been 5 years. It's
Isn't
been
that crazy?
It's been 5 years. So
What?
I kind of want to give the MD 15 anniversary a little shout out just because it happens to ride on that little our little milestone here. And I think it's stunning. Like they went all out and collaborated with like how many artists are these? 15 different artists
I know. I
um,
thought that was really neat.
to design these covers for the A5 size MD notebooks. They didn't really mention what is the inside, but what they
Yeah, I think
did,
it's blank,
it's all
right?
blank. What they did is they
I don't.
collaborated with 15 artists and they all draw on the cover of the empty paper because uh did they say it yet? But what's special is that they made the empty paper entirely empty paper. You know what I'm saying? Like even the cover is now is
Oh.
now a drawable surface. Oh shoot, did they not say
Oh.
that yet?
No, no, no. I think I just didn't. I don't think it's a
Oh wait, they do have a
secret.
section, new and improved products. With this
Oh.
15th anniversary redesign, writing is even more of a pleasure than before. MD paper is now used not only for the pages, but for the cover and the fly leaf too for the ultimate comfort during writing. So you get MD paper
Yeah.
notebook on itself. And what they did is they worked with 15 artists to draw on the cover of the MD notebook how they would like envision and use their different styles. And then they take those illustrations and they made it a deboss on the cover of the MD notebooks, and they look so cool. They slap,
really good.
Kelly.
They slap. They do. You're not wrong.
And I just want to like especially geek out that they worked with Matsusu Urban Noswick, who draws those famous like Japanese street building illustrations. He worked with a lot of animation studios in Japan, comic and wave film. So he does like background, he does watercolors, and he did one which is like a street scene, and it's like debossed onto the cover. I'm definitely getting that notebook. Oh, they're actually A6 size. Okay, that feels much better.
No way, they're A6.
These are A6 notebooks. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that
I have uses for my Hobonichi covers now. Hey! I'm so happy.
They're really cool.
Yeah, he published those 2 books, the Tokyo Storefronts and Tokyo at Night, and I have both of those books, and it's just amazing illustrations of like Japanese street scenes, those like full front, face on kind of urban sketching style drawings with watercolor. I'm just glad he's one of them. I'm definitely getting that one, and the whole collection is amazing, and I think they have a lot more other stuff too. With dip pen, they did a dip pen.
Here's the thing about the dip pen. It's not exciting at all.
What?
It's really lame. Hot take.
It's got that minimalistic look that empty.
Maybe that's why I don't like it. Well, maybe it's because I was so excited when they released that fountain pen, and it's not great. It's just not a good one. So I feel like this might not be. But you know what?
I think I still each their own. As well.
To each their own.
It's like that.
Every pen is
it's
for
like
everybody.
That white MD look, but it's a dip pen. They're really catching on to the Inkanuma world, and I think they released some inks. They're releasing some inks too, limited edition bottle inks. But you're not buying any more bottle inks, so you don't have to look at this.
It's also just not as exciting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater.
You're a hater because you are unicorn barf girl.
Yep, you're right. That's why.
Maybe that's why the MD paper, except for the notebook, doesn't appeal to you.
Yeah, I love MD notebooks. I'm all about that.
Are they all A6 size? Because that's amazing.
I think so. Yeah.
I love it.
They're so cute.
So it's coming up. I'm just saying, I think these are all going to be available starting January. I don't know if you guys put your orders in yet, Oblation, but
well, I hadn't even heard of these, so I don't think so. But
I saw them on some of the YouTube channels by some Asian stationery stores already. So I'm excited.
I might just look into it right now
to buy new notebooks. Well, actually, I'm gonna be conscious. I just said I was gonna be conscious. I'm probably only gonna buy that singular one by the artist Urban Noswick. So yay to April and holding herself to her words.
Hey.
So that pretty much rounds out our episode. Happy New Year again, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us for the past 3 years, and we'll probably do another episode very soon, maybe with Phyllis too, to kind of start out the new year, and we'll just continue our once every other week schedule and
totally
bring you more fun conversations about stationery, what's new, what's not, what's old, according to Kelly. And
which is always off.
And then maybe if I have time or if I have the whim, I would kind of go back to interviewing different guests. I think people used to enjoy those. I very much enjoyed them, but it's just kind of whether I have time or not. So
totally. Yeah, it's a lot.
But from my knowledge, there's going to be a new up-and-coming podcast coming from the Japan side soon. So y'all have to look forward to that. I'm so excited for that. Anyway, thanks again for listening in. This is April from Penguins Creative.
And Kelly from Kelly Love Letters.
I'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Kelly.
Are you streaming?
See, I'm recording, Elliot, like I told you.
Oh, going downstairs. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Oh, wait, I didn't get my
Can you quickly? We're still in the middle.
I feel like we should leave that in.